Welcome to the first review of a comic book by Ya, which I hope you'll receive as warmly as you might its subject. The Northless Compass is the first issue in the adventuresome series No North, which is populated by anthropomorphic but quadrupedal dogs in an idiom inspired by animated features from Walt Disney Feature Animation and the various incarnations of Don Bluth Entertainment during the mid-80s through mid-90s. Like those productions, this is suitable for kids and adults alike, but it isn't bogged down by so much of the schmaltz or convoluted plotting that marred many of those beautiful movies. Synopsized here, the story and its characters are simple but engaging. Young Beagle Martin, I think he's a beagle, I'm pretty sure he's a beagle, is a struggling and unpublished author in a small town who's beset with debt and writer's block. With a bit of moral and pecuniary support from a kindly bartender named Leonore, he embarks on a trip to faraway Newport to apply for a position as an assistant author at a popular publishing house. Unfortunately, both he and scruffy stray Steban, who I think is part dingo, who he meets at a train station, are on the bad side of his vicious creditor, the notorious criminal Solomon. Oh, he looks mean. Oh, he's mean. He's a mean dog. He's such a mean dog. Solomon has designs to join the Scorpions, an outlaw pack who roam the nearby desert, and who aren't terribly fond of Steban either, for reasons not yet explicated. After an altercation with Solomon and his bull terrier Lieutenant Rocco, Martin and Steban traverse the countryside, first in a boxcar, then a paw toward Oddwind, a reputedly cursed town that Steban is reluctant to revisit. First and foremost, the artwork for this graphic novel by co-authors Raquel and Gabriel Simoso and their collaborators Tatiana Lang, Jennifer Beam, and Danilo Freitas is really eximious. All of the characters are memorably distinct in design and expression, without ever seeming melodramatic or cutesy. Locational backgrounds and an embarrassment of beautiful establishing splash pages are also nicely detailed, with chromatic vividity that's warm but never garish. If you're partial to spacious, uncluttered layouts, the Simoso's style will satisfy, and their composition is marked by some very slickly arrayed triangular and quadrangular panels that aren't over-applied. From a glance, the quality of its illustrations is obvious, but this issue is also slightly more entertaining than I expected. It's funny, exciting, and generally appealing. Neither too fluffy nor too grim, with a charm that's hardly as common as it was in Anglophonic cartoons from the 20th century. There's some subtle but noticeable prefiguration in its dialogue, and especially in an atmospheric prologue that introduces the Scorpions and establishes a plot point whose significance will be clarified in a future issue. Its 63 pages speed right along at a brisk pace, but as for all good comics, you'll probably want to page through it slowly to scrutinize and savor its cosmetic niceties. To be honest, I haven't anything negative to relate about this title. For both its quality and length, it's actually worth its price of $9 on Gumroad, for which customers are accorded a universally accessible comic book archive and PDF. If this looks at all like your cup of tea, it probably is, so go check it out. I'll review the next issue, Oddwind, later this year.